welcome back to another Path to Mastery. Today, we're going to talk about building placement a little bit, and building placement specifically in PvZ. So, pylons and buildings, and we're going to get a little bit detailed into it today. So, when I play my PvZ, I always wall off my natural. You're going to want to wall off your natural because if you see that the zerg is going pool first or anything like that, you can defend their pressure, and then you can still get a 2 base, and then you can 2 base all in off of this. And that is basically a hard counter to any time a zerg cheeses you. You just hold your wall and then you press. Now, this first wall being said, you can see I have my first pylon set back quite a bit. Now, I could probably even set it back one little bit farther here, but you want to basically get it just so that you can cover, you can put your 2 buildings on the wall up at the front. Now, this time we're not going to really focus on my build order or anything like that. I'll make a build order for my PvZ in a little bit, but I'm just going to talk about where I'm placing my buildings. So, your first building, you're going to want to be able to kind of wall off your corner here, and on this map particularly, you can basically wall off with just 2 buildings up front. But I usually go Nexus, and then I get my cybernetic score right here. Now, you have this gap here. You're going to put your second gateway in this gap to make a space of 1, but what you want to not do is you don't want to be putting your pylon in the wall. Every time when I played Zerg, if I saw that they had a pylon in the wall, I would 100% rush it, because depowering their first pylon if it's in the wall means that they can't do anything. They can get 1 zealot out basically. Then you take the pylon, they can't make anything else, you break their wall down, you have a massive chance. So your first pylon should never be in the wall. Maybe your second can, but your first one should never be. Now, your first unit kind of depends on your playstyle and everything like that, but my next building is my Stargate. Now, I see that he's going 3 hatch, but yeah, I also forgot my 2022 pylon. That was bad. But this kind of shows you a couple of different ways that you could do this. So what I usually do is, I know that he's going to be coming in with an Overlord Scout. I'll just keep playing. I know he's going to be coming in with an Overlord Scout. Usually, if I don't forget this pylon, I'll put my Stargate up at the top, my tech building up at the top. Right about 3 minutes is when you should have your tech building down. If you see a lot of pressure coming, you can put it in your wall, but I usually put it up on the high ground with Twilight Council, so he can't see what I'm doing. Is my regular play. But here's my wall. You can see it right here. So let's take a look. Let's zoom in a little bit. This is my wall. So if he was to come up now, I've got 3 buildings, and I've got 1 unit on hold position between these 2. So I can get any unit in and out, and I can defend if he's going to Ling Rush all in. But I mean, I do have scouting over on his side of the map. I do kind of know what he's doing. I've got a cheeky little probe in, I always keep my probe right here so he can't just rush Lings over. I can block him, so this is a good map for this, but anyway. Yeah, this is a really really strong wall. And if you don't want to do it with your Stargate, you can do it with another Forge or whatever your build is, but you should really have a wall going down. But this is pretty standard. I mean, if you really want to get above Gold League, you really start needing to build a wall against Zerg. And you should have a unit in your wall basically the whole game, in case they try to run. If you're attacking across the map and they run up 10 Zerglings in your base, that could be game over for you if you can't get home, if you're needed to do pressure. So I think Protoss is really one of the best races to teach you to not use your select all army key, because you need to have a unit in this wall here. So as soon as this goes out, I'm still just kind of putting my main buildings up front. Nothing big. We're just talking about defensive walls and getting the most out of our buildings. So until this point, nothing really strong is happening. I mean, I'm just kind of doing my build. He's not pressuring me. I still have my probe in the wall here, so I know that he's not coming with anything. I'm getting some map vision with my Oracle. I'm building a Phoenix. Getting more getting glaives here, and I'm just trying to get as many workers as I can as fast as I can. So, I mean, even though he's a Zerg, I'm still keeping up with him. So, I want to talk about your third base building locations. Now, I don't do the best job of this yet. I really need to keep cleaning this up, but I wanted to kind of talk about taking a third against Zerg and PvZ. Now, a lot of people are afraid to take their third in PvZ, and this is actually pretty late. I usually take them out about 30 seconds faster. So, it was just, my build order was off, I was just late. I didn't make my drones fast enough, so this is my issue. But you'll see that I'm starting to try to block in these areas where I can put gateways and stuff like that to block this. And this is actually a really good map. I do a lot of damage to him with my adept push I'm building up here. And my adept push should be pushing it right about now, but so there's my glaives, and I should be across the map. Yeah, I should be across the map at 5:30, but I screwed up a little bit, so oh well. Too bad, so sad. He's killed a couple of my workers. I killed more of his with my Oracle. But again, every time, warp in a unit, leave it in your door. Always have a unit in your door. These are just kind of tips for how you should be playing. So my adepts are going to go in and kill a lot of his workers right now. So during this time, I'm still making my workers and stuff like that. I'm trying to get more and more workers going. Trying to take this pesky zergling out of my base. Taking me forever to warp in, unfortunately. There it is. So boom. So now I want to talk about defending this. So now I've killed 10 of his workers. I'm going to keep killing more and more of his workers. He's going to try to start pushing in. Now, any Zerg player knows to never run up the main ramp, but to kind of starve them out, force them to stay on two bases so you can have the same economy, and then attack. So I know that he's going to be coming over to attack my third here. So you're going to see that I'm going to start building as much as I can to make sure he can't just walk in to my mineral line over here. So yeah, I'm keeping my buildings kind of in close. I'm trying to block it off so lings can't run in. I'm going to keep doing that. So I've kind of have a little bit of an opening over here, but this is where I'm kind of letting my units go in. I've got some units up here, but I'm making it so he can't get a full surround on my Nexus either. I'm trying to protect my Nexus. I've killed 17 of his workers. I know that he's going to try to really push out and try to kill me right now. So I'm getting all these kinds of shields and things like that, everything I can do. And you'll see. So this is what I really wanted to talk about. So this store up here, first wall, you've got a pylon, you've got about 3 buildings with a unit in it. This is your first wall. If he's all-inning you, you can hard wall it with a pylon or something. Your third base, you should really look at walling off. So here, this is my wall. Now I forced it so that if he wants to come in, this is the best attack route for him. If you're a Zerg, this is a choke point. I could surround him with my units here and here. This was a Diamond 2 player, by the way, the Zerg. So I know he's not, you know, the best in the world, but I figured that he was making some nice decisions with this play. So let's just look at this map possibility. If he attacks up this route in the middle of the map here, he can either try to run into my main base, which I have walled, and then I can surround him, or he can try to run into my third, which I have protected, and I can surround him. So the most vulnerable spot is this path over here. So I am setting a hard wall, pylons and gateways, so his lings can't run in, so I don't need to get pulled behind. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. I've got my units here. I've got my main units, my main army up at the top wall here, and I'm warping in my new units over this way. I'm warping in and warping in and warping in over by my third because I want to protect this. So usually what I do is I'll just let my big buildings kind of keep warping in up to my main, and all of my gateway units I'll warp in towards my newest expansion so I can protect it. So here we go. Let's see how this goes. So right now, you see he's trying to get through. I can continuously mine safely. I can kind of keep him around. So he's trying to get through, but look at all the time it's given me to get my units over here. And I didn't lose any units. I didn't lose any drones there. And he specifically went to attack my third. So this is what I'm talking about. And you'll see I'm always kind of leaving my units in these walls, in these holes here. So building placement is, I'm not doing anything different in my normal build. But let's say if I build all of these gates just randomly up here. What's that doing for me? That's doing nothing for me. So keeping him down here, it's kind of a give-take risk. If I build him down here, it's easy for him to kill my buildings, but it's also much easier for me to protect. So I've got a hard wall here with my units. I'm getting more shield batteries up front, warping in more zealots, more and more zealots. I'm trying to just wall off so he can't do anything. And I'm even going to go insane. I'm going to try to take my fourth down here. But you'll see. So this wall here has really done a lot for me. This is what I want to talk about today. Is this wall and how you can try to protect your third. Hopefully this helps you with your games. So look for a choke point, look for a point that you can surround him and leave that kind of open and let him risk running in so you can surround him very easily. Always the I think it's concave always beats the convex. So if he comes in, I'm already set up as a nice arc, I'm going to win. So yeah. I'm just defending my little point here. He knows better to run into my base, so I'm just defending and defending and defending. Now, one mistake is I pull my wall. I pull my wall open here. So I almost get punished for this really hard later on, but I put it back. So hopefully you're kind of seeing the benefit of this. If he was able to get in and kill some workers and get in and kill some workers, it would be one thing. But now I've been up 15 workers basically the entire game. I've killed 17 of his. He's only killed 2 of mine still at the 10-minute mark. And he hasn't made it. He's trying to all-in me. So this is when he's going to try to attack me at a couple different points. So let's see here. This is what I mean. He's going to try to pull me around. And I'm nervous. I'm very much nervous that he's going to come in here. So luckily he doesn't run up my ramp, but he is going to try to attack me on 2 points. So you'll see I've got my main army attacking here, and I'm going to keep warping in down over here. So yeah, a better player, he could have taken these and run them in this little path right here and tried to kill him, but he's going for random things like shield batteries and stuff. I'm not sure why. But yeah, I go back to I want to do a counter push now and win the game because I'm super far ahead. But yeah, I was trying to take my fourth and he canceled it, which was fine. But yeah, always I'm gonna leave some units in my wall. Or I should only leave one, but I'm just kind of waiting for him to kind of counterattack. At this point, I feel that my army's strong enough where I don't need to get all the other... I don't need to keep it all balled up together. So what I'm going to do is I have some units walled in up here if he tries to run by. And I'm going to keep warping in units over here. He kills my High Templar, but I'm going to keep warping in units over on this side of the map. Yeah, he's going to try to take my Nat. So this is the point. This is the point. So now, look. It doesn't honestly matter. I've killed one of his bases. I've killed his base, and I'm about to walk into his main, and he has nothing. But imagine if I had just one more building right here, or 2 more buildings. It would have stopped him from being able to get to this nexus a little bit more. So these walls, as soon as it's open, Zerg come in. As soon as this wall was open, the Zerg ran in. As soon as this wall was open, the Zerg ran in. So you should always focus your units towards these kind of choke points that you make. Zerg is only good when they can get in and surround your bases. If you can keep them from doing that, you have a massive advantage over them. So not so much about the build order, not so much about the macro, not so much about the composition of the micro. This was purely building placement. So what I want you to remember is second base, you should always wall off your natural with 3 buildings and a pylon. And the pylon should not be in your main wall. And then with your third, find find the farthest choke point from the connection of your two bases and hard wall off that with something. It can be cannons, it can be pylons, it could be shield batteries, it could be 10 forges or a bunch of warp gates like I do here. But make a wall so they can't just run zerglings in and do a run by while you're gone. You want to be able to have him want to try to attack you in a spot that's favorable for you, and you'll notice that he almost never attacked here, and he found that when I was over here, the majority of the time, he tried to pull my units away by attacking in the front and then hitting me over here. So he was a good player. Again, Diamond 2, he was working hard, but I killed way too many of his workers. That was from the last fight. I killed way too many of his workers throughout this match for him to do anything about it. So, hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Good luck, have fun.